Welcome, race fans, to the Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network Tuesday Night Thunder. It is championship week. We're going to kick off the championship week, all three series championships races this week. We will crown champions in all three of those series. I'm Jerry Isaacs, joined as usually by Andrew Kotska and Cody Richardson. How you doing, Cody?
I'm doing pretty good, Jerry. How about you tonight? Championship weekend, whatever,
Yeah.
championship week.
I'm doing well. I'm pretty excited. What do we got going on for our championship race here in trucks?
Well, we have 100 laps here at the world famous Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's a 1.5 mile quad oval in, you guessed it, Charlotte, North Carolina. I think it's actually in one of the suburbs in Concord, North Carolina, but same thing. 24-degree banking on the corners there, 6 degrees on the straights. Pretty easy in this truck. It's going to be mostly flat out at the beginning. I'll probably have to crack the throttle a little bit, but the walls come at you pretty quick coming off of turn 4. I said 100 laps here tonight. They got 3 changes of tires. If you can do some math, that means 25, 25, 25 for your stints. Unfortunately, they only get about 25 to 27 laps of fuel, so again, zero strategy. Which I guess for a championship race, one could argue is a better heads up. Who's fastest getting on and off pit road the same number of times, and who's fastest over the same number of laps. There's not going to be a lot of tire play to deal with here today.
Well, then what do you do, Andrew? How do you win this race?
You got to go fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's tonight you're going to be at Charlotte. Lots of space out there for racing, so you're just going to want to find yourself up front. And like what Cody was mentioning, make sure you have as clean of a pit stop as you can all throughout the race. Get on pit road, off pit road as fast as you can without speeding, and try to beat some guys on pit road. Gain a couple seconds here and there just from pit stops.
Should be a fun race. We talked about it. We're going to crown a championship champion tonight. How's it looking in that points battle, Cody?
I mean, really, you only have 2 contenders here tonight for the championship. It's going to be between Kyle Nadeau and Mike Stiverson, like we've been talking about all season long. I don't believe there are enough people. We have, 21 trucks, give or take, or so. Unfortunately, Gary Bowman in third is 40 points behind the leader. I don't think there's any way he can catch that unless my math is really, really bad. Mike Stiverson is 10 points behind Kyle. He has to find some way to make up 10 points tonight, or Kyle is walking home with another championship.
Should be a good battle. Looks like Paul Turner here is already getting ready to park the truck there in the parking lot.
Yeah, it was looking like he's trying to find his RV out there. I think he forgot where he is camping for the weekend.
He heard Boyer was out there in the infield and thought about trying to go find him.
Maybe he's got some illegal parts or fuel or something he's going to throw in that truck.
I think he's just trying to burn something off of that right rear quarter panel. That's what he's trying to do.
He's not going to have too many sets of tires left.
No. At least this is the qualifying set. It doesn't really count, so he can do whatever he wants with these.
Well, looks like kind of looking at qualifying, Nadeau up there in first, Stiverson in fifth. That's going to be a little bit of work. He's going to have to. Stiverson's going to have to hope, I think, for some luck to win this. I don't see Kyle losing it other than maybe wrecking out.
Yeah.
I think Mike, the only thing he's got is maybe giving somebody $20 in the field out there and hoping for the best. But it's going to be a tough one for Mike to get these spots on Kyle. I think he's going to need a little bit of bad luck for Kyle to try to jump him here in points.
But anything can happen. I mean, missing pit entry, you hit the wall, get loose out of. I mean, we all know how tight the turn 4 wall comes to you. If you get a little bit sideways and cave that right rear quarter panel in, do a little aero damage, fall back through the field. And we got to remember 3 points, 3 bonus points for winning. So, I mean, 20 to go. Kyle hits the wall, falls back to 7th. Mike wins. It's not out of the question at all. But, Mike's certainly helping his case there, getting that bonus point as it stands right now, provisional pole.
Kyle, you mean? But
Kyle, yes.
So, if you're Mike, I mean, do you just get up behind Kyle and try and rattle his cage a little bit and hope he messes up? Or I don't know. It's not exactly Mike's style, but you got to do something.
The problem with it right now is that Mike's starting in 7th as it sits right this moment, and Kyle's up in 1st with clean air and all that track in front of him. Mike has to worry about getting by 6 other trucks before he gets there, 5 other trucks before he gets there.
True. Sometimes that's the case where maybe Mike says if somebody is being aggressive with him, just let him go. Yeah, you get up there and go bother everybody else up front.
I mean, I agree. I think that's a good call there, Jerry. Just, hey, I'm here for the long haul. You go harass him up front there. Maybe you'll get into him. Maybe he'll make a mistake or something.
All right, qualifying is wrapped up here. Getting ready for the championship race. Here is your qualifying order. Kyle Nadeau up front, Mike Donahue in second, Chris Harefield third, Jason Higginbotham in fourth, Nathan Dufton, Gary Bowman, Mike Stiverson in seventh, Carter Lawson eighth, Brian Dorsey ninth, and Ray Richer in 10th.
Steven Music in 11th, Kevin Fetty in 12th, Chris Letts in 13th, George Cushman in 14th, Ken Leung in 15th, Dave Gainforth in 16th, Paul Turner 17th, Judd Danielson 18th, Alan Ayers in 19th, Dusty Martin in 20th, and Doug Wasaki rounds out your field, rolling off 21st.
Should be a lot of fun tonight. Charlotte, it should be we've got 21 trucks. Should be pretty green. I don't know. We might have a case of maybe 1 or 2 cautions as things happen, but I think we should have a green flag race, and I think you're right. It's going to come down a little bit to who practiced their pit stops.
As it always does, Jerry. Saving that right front tire and who can get on and off pit road.
Man, I struggle with that. I always practice. I do a good one in practice, and then I get nervous. I don't want to speed. Oh, man. I end up slower than I need to be. What's the secret, Andrew? How do I fix that?
It's a good question, Jerry. I do the same thing a lot as well too. But I think a lot of these guys too, especially on the first pit stop, they'll probably take it a little bit easy on that one. You don't want to blow it on the first one. And then from there, maybe kind of once they're a little more comfortable, then start pushing a little bit more on pit road. You never want to make a mistake on the first pit road. That'll just mess you up mentally the rest of the race because you're just going to be in a giant hole you're going to have to dig out of.
Apparently, I need to listen to you guys. I can get on and off pit road fine. It's hitting the dang box that I can't do. I tend to do that every single time, is just miss my pit stall, either too deep or not deep enough. And so how about this? How about we practice? I'll teach you guys how to get on and off pit road. You teach me how to stop in the box.
Perfect. I think that'll work. The hardest part with iRacing is you don't get to drive down pit lane, so you don't know where your box is until the first time you come pit live.
Yeah, I had one of those issues on the past weekend at the Roar. The first pit stop, I'm like, all right, I'm ready. And I get into pit road and I'm like, all right, there's my box. It was the 4th one in. I had no idea.
Now, I did notice that my pit guy, it was late because it was like right as I pulled in pit road, he said, "You're the first box." And I'm like, yeah, that I was. I did. Why didn't you tell me earlier? But he
new.
Yeah, he did call out. That. He did call out and say, "You're the first box," or something like that. We've got 2 trucks, it looks like, in the pits. I don't know if they just didn't grid or what, but the pace car is off.
Yeah, pace car made that hard left turn. We're about to go green flag championship racing. Green flag is in the air. Seemed like everybody kind of got a little slow of a start there. Not sure if they knew where it was going to go, but inside lane had a massive jump. Outside lane stacked up. Both Kyle and Chris are going to be able to clear the 70 of Mike Donahue for first and second. Kyle now with a 3 truck length lead over Chris Harefield.
3 wide here, 2. Back in the field. Mike Stiverson at the bottom of the 3 wide. Gary Bowman and Carter Lawson on the outside.
That's the last thing Mike wants to see is 3 wide racing right now whenever he knows he has a bunch of going to do. Looks like they got it all settled out now. He is at least single file on the front straightaway. It looks like top 6 or 7 cars finally settled it out in the line.
Yeah, looks like they are now single file back to Carter Lawson. Carter on the outside. We see this a lot with him. He's on the outside, just can't get to the bottom, falling back a little bit. He will probably pull in line shortly, and then later in the race, we'll see him come back to the front.
Yeah, and our leader, Kyle Nadeau, is under pressure. Chris Harefield all over his back bumper. Give him a half of a truck length lead to Kyle as he crosses the line, finishing lap number 2 here. But he's going to have some company, and Chris gets to his inside into turn one, sends Kyle way up the racetrack. New leader, Chris Harefield, as they exit turn two.
Kyle looking like he's happy at second. I don't know whether he's happy or not, but he definitely doesn't want to get mixed up in a tussle. Jason Higginbotham making a move for third underneath the 70 of Mike Donahue. We'll be really interested to see how hard Kyle fights Higginbotham if Higginbotham is able to make this pass. Donahue able to stick with him so far, carrying that momentum on the outside.
Yeah, but his momentum is now going to get him underneath the 97, and Kyle's doesn't look like he's fighting too hard. I think he knows that his battle is with Mike Stiverson, but I believe this is going to be points, correct? Like, it's not just you have to beat the other guys. It's 100% a points battle.
Absolutely.
Correct?
That is correct.
Yeah,
it's based on cumulative points, not points scored tonight.
So with a 10-point buffer, I mean, Mike has to be ultra aggressive here, and Kyle can let all of these guys go, really. Like, he can sit back and have 10 spots between him and Mike and not have to worry about it right now. If you get put in a bad situation, there's no reason to press the issue right now.
Well, we said the same thing about Kyle last week, where he didn't have any reason to push, and then we just saw him pushing after that. So I feel like he's still going to want to try to push to stay up front here to try to just win this race as well. You can see he's trying to keep up here with Chris Harefield and trying to pull free of Higginbotham there behind him.
We got contact.
Mike had contact with the 70.
He saves it. Everybody kind of checks up.
Saves it. Apology on the radio from Stiverson there for getting into him. I think just thought he had a little more room than he did to the outside and kind of got a little bit hooked there, but no harm, no foul. Biggest issue with that was Donahue went from fourth place down to ninth, and currently following back a little bit more. I was going to say they had single filed out, but they're fighting pretty darn hard back there in the back of the pack.
For Stiverson now, that little slide sideways, what's that going to do to his tires? Is that going to be a big deal?
You know, it might actually help him. I don't know what this truck tends to be here, but sliding those rears may just overheat him enough. May bring the balance back to you where you wanted to. May not be the best thing, but it may not hurt him as near as bad as what we think either.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's hurting him yet here as he catches up to Kyle.
Paul Turner coming in the pits on lap 8. That's a bold strategy.
Yeah, especially with no extra tires. I had to wonder if maybe he's just taking it to the hauler. Wanted to get a couple laps out there. Maybe something came up.
Kyle Nadeau looking to make a move. He's underneath Chris Harefield. Harefield is on the outside. He's going to have momentum. Kyle not playing it conservative like we talked about.
Now, he sees Mike making up spots, sat there long enough. He thought in that dirty air it was time to start getting around. This is going to be a really interesting race. I think Mike has been faster than Kyle at most intermediates like this season. But how much practice did they do this week, and how much is Kyle working on it to try to get better himself?
And what did I say earlier? There is Carter Lawson in third place. He's up 5 spots. Biggest mover sitting in third right now.
I was just going to say, as we were going down the back straight there, we just saw that SpongeBob just menacingly looking past Kyle there. Looked like he was looking to get that second place.
Yeah, and he's looking to sniff that outside right now. He's going to get to his right rear quarter panel coming off of turn 2, side by side with Kyle into turn 3. I think that bottom lane is preferred on this end of the racetrack. We'll see if he can carry some momentum down the front straightaway, but looks like Kyle's going to maintain second spot as we finish lap 10.
How many times have you pulled up behind a car and saw their paint, they have a bumper or a paint scheme or something that just makes you laugh and throws off your next corner?
You know, it happens more often than I'd like to admit.
I was going to say, at first I heard a pause. I was like, oh, I guess it's just me.
There's been many times where I've read a bumper for too long on the straightaway, and I'm like, oh, crap, there's the corner.
Jason Higginbotham goes around Carter Lawson while we're talking, does it the hard way, around the outside, moves into third place.
Yeah, and Mike's going to try to take that spot away. Also now take away fourth spot. Enters really high into turn 1, gets a good run. It's probably going to get to his inside down the back straightaway, and looks like he does.
If I'm Mike, I don't... Caution.
Caution on the racetrack.
I don't see anything on the
do see a
cracked.
notification of Brian Dorsey crashing, but I'm not sure exactly what happened there.
Oh, yeah, I do see Brian here in the back. We're going to have to go back the old fashioned way because I don't see what happened to him. Looked like he was backwards there.
Oh, yep, was backwards. Looks like may have had some help from the 70.
Yeah, he
We'll see what
is-
goes on here. He
Oh, the
does get
70 just
some
gets
netcode
some
help.
big
It does
netcode,
get
but looked like 70 got loose, came down, and some big netcode just took Dorsey right into the wall. And looks like 70 is just continuing to drive through the 28. Why hit those brakes? I wouldn't want to warm those brakes up either.
yeah,
I
no,
think
but it
both
does,
of them
it
are
does pain
wondering.
back at the back there. So
I think both of them are wondering what happened there because that netcode made it a lot worse than what it actually was there too.
Absolutely.
yeah, it was some pretty significant netcode.
So if you're, well, I was going to ask you, what do you do if you're leaders? We've got interesting strategies going on here. Chris Harefield, Kyle Nadeau, Higginbotham, Bowman, Dufton, and most of the crew pit. We've got 4 trucks that stayed out: Carter Lawson, Mike Stiverson, Ray Richard, George Cushman. What's the thought
We'll see
here?
we'll see what they do. I'm in the boat of Carter and Mike. Like, why? You don't have any extra tires. What is coming in to get fuel really gonna do for you?
Does it
You know what I
shorten,
mean? Like
does it shorten your pit stop at all?
No, because I think you're gonna be waiting on tires.
So
You know what I mean?
Kyle,
Like, you're not gonna be waiting to fill it up.
yeah, looking here, Kyle Nadeau took fuel only. Stephen Music fuel only. Looks like Harefield, Higginbotham, Dufton, Bowman all took tires. Now we're going based on pit times. We didn't actually watch.
Yeah,
So
let me do some quick math here, guys. I'll get back to you here. See what they can do now that we're done here, if they can make it on 2 more stops or not.
Yeah, because I think it'd be pretty close at this point to try to even make it that far.
yeah, we
I
are
mean,
14 laps
Oh
in.
man.
Is it?
So there's 86 laps to go whenever they go green, 85. That puts them at 28.5 laps a stint. We said they could get 27.
Ray
was the most they
Richard
could
pulling
do.
in the
So-
pits.
So, with a full tank of gas, the guys that took tires right now, if we stay green to the end, they're going to have to save about a lap of fuel every single stint to be able to make it to the end on 2 more stops.
Ray Richard ducked in the pits, and and Alan Ayers. Looks like we had 2 trucks come in the pits just to top off on fuel.
I would guess so. Said every lap we run under caution here is more that they can save, and it's more likely it's going to happen. But if you thought you could make it on 2 more stops, the way I'm at right here is you either have to make 3 more stops, or if you think you can make it on 2 more stops here, but if you think you can make it on 2 more, why don't you take tires?
So interesting. Let's talk about this championship chase. Mike Stiverson's up there in the front row, did not pit. Kyle took fuel only. He's right behind him, did not take tires. So I assume if I'm Kyle, I'm just going to follow Mike. Whatever Mike does, he pits, I pit.
Yeah, you have to
Yeah.
wonder though, like, did Mike use more tire than Kyle did? Did, Kyle got stuck in some dirty air, but Mike had traffic the entire time?
I think
Kyle can go farther though, but I don't think you don't want to.
right.
Like, you'd be losing lap time to him if you go later. The only reason you should have pit there is if you think you can make it on 2 more stops.
Well,
Because if you go green, even if you're slower, you're not going to, it's 1 stop you don't have to
Right.
make. It's 40 seconds of free lap time.
Now I know they're teammates and on the same channel, but Kyle was out front. Kyle pulled in the pits, and I'm wondering if him not taking tires was maybe a reaction to Mike staying out.
Could very well be. That would make sense, and probably makes the most sense, is that he said, oh, shoot, I messed up. Let me just go back on this and not lose any spots. I'll just take fuel only and call it good.
Yeah, Mike might be, as Coleridge points out in the text, do the opposite of the leaders. Mike might be like, I need to do something different. He tried to do something different. Kyle said, nope, I'm not going to let you get away with that. I'm going to take fuel only, get back in line with you.
Yeah, but I I mean, if he would have taken tires, he would have only been one spot further back. I mean, I guess you don't know
yeah,
that.
but then he doesn't have that extra set of tires at the end, and Mike does.
No, that's true also, but you just gave Mike track position with another teammate on the inside that's probably going to let him go. And now Mike has clean air.
Yeah, but Kyle doesn't need to win. He just needs to be within 10 spots of Mike. And that's what I'm saying.
True, but I want the most clean air in front of me. That I don't want anybody around me to be a risk to my championship. I don't want anybody. I know these guys race clean and race good, but anything can happen. Mistakes can be made. Look at the netcode incident we just saw. I don't want that to end my championship race because I'm not out front.
Absolutely. So top 5 old tires. Looks like 6, 7, 8 on new tires. And then we got 1 on old tires and then several on new tires. So we got lots in the back on new tires, guys up front in old tires.
Yep, and that pace truck is off. We are back to green flag racing. Carter got a pretty good jump there on the inside. Mike did not get as good of a jump on the outside. Kyle switches lanes, is going to try to run that bottom and get past Mike here again. Mike's hanging on to the right rear quarter panel, but looks like Carter Lawson's going to take that lead, pull in and give Mike some draft here down the back straightaway, see if Mike can clear Kyle. Nope, side by side, your championship battle into turn 3.
Yeah, Mike was pushing Carter as hard as he could. Kyle able to get underneath Mike. Let's see if Mike's momentum can carry him to the front.
Yeah,
Carter down in the grass.
Yeah, Carter looks like he's running both lanes there, just trying to give both his teammates some draft. But Kyle's going to be able to make that pass around Mike Stiverson now into second place. Championship leaders running P2, P3 right now, but your leader, Carter Lawson, clear by 2 truck lengths.
Right behind Mike, Chris Harefield, Nathan Dufton, Jason Higginbotham. Those guys are on fresh tires. You will see them come through. Kyle pulls down low in front of Chris. I wonder if that's just trying to be aggressive and holding the lead.
Gary, I don't know. Andrew, what do you think? The way I'm looking at this, it almost looks like Kyle took 2.
It kind of feels like it. He does have a bit more speed than these other guys. Yeah.
3 wide for the lead. Carter lifts early. Big flames out of the exhaust in the middle of the back straightaway there.
I would have thought Kyle.
He cleared Carter and Mike pretty easily there, so he may have taken those 2.
He had a 7-second pit.
2 tires doesn't take a whole lot of time.
No, it doesn't.
I don't know, but the speed differential between Mike and Kyle and Carter and Kyle in the middle of the corner just makes me think that he may have taken 2 tires there.
Interesting.
Which, if he did, is even more of an interesting call than taking 4.
It's not helping.
But either way.
Yeah, it's not helping Mike Stiverson. Mike Stiverson's
big wreck there in the middle of the field. Just before the start finish line.
Caution's out on the racetrack right now.
Let's go back and see if we can see what happened. Alan Ayers here coming out of turn 4. Looks like he gets a little loose. And once again, a big net code.
Huge net code.
You think this has something to do with...
I mean, I don't even think that
is in bad shape.
It's not really much of a truck anymore, I don't think.
No, that wasn't even... I mean, there wasn't even anything going on there that would cause an incident.
Like
that was
half
some
a truck in between them there.
Yeah, so, ridiculous amounts of net code.
Let me throw this out. I mean, we're not a podcast here, but Daytona 24 is coming up. But they've got a lot of people on racing right now. You think this has something to do with just the busyness or the amount of data that iRacing is dealing with right now?
No, they're basically using like AWS servers, so they're all the separate instances. That wouldn't affect the connections to them. It's probably something more than just the actual netcode in the game itself.
Yeah, unless there's some kind of incident with their switch over from the again, leaders coming to the pit road. Now this makes sense.
Okay.
If I'm Mike, take 4 tires here. You can make it to the end on 2 more stops from here.
I agree. Let's see what Kyle does here, because if he took 2 tires last time, what's he do this time?
Yeah, if he took 2 last time, you maybe take 2 lefts this time to get him back evened up, but you don't want to take any right side tires.
There he is in his box. He's taking rights.
I said maybe Kyle just fired off a
And
lot better
lefts.
than what it looked like, but I could have swore I would have bet money that he took 2 tires on that last one with the speed difference that he had in the center of the corner.
All right. Meanwhile, up front, Chris Harefield. Let's see if we can get in there. I still hear the motor running. But he's definitely saving.
Yeah, he's definitely riding around in fourth gear right now, trying to not use as much throttle.
All right, we talked about a little excitement, anything could happen. Kyle Nadeau now sitting in 9th place. Carter Lawson 10th, Mike Stiverson in 11th. I want to give some credit where credit's due here. Up here, Chris Harefield, Nathan Dufton, Gary Bowman in 3rd, Ken Lung 4th, Judd Danielson in 5th. But when we're talking about this championship battle, now Kyle is the one on fresh tires with Mike right there with him. They're going to have to drive through this field. This is what you were talking about, Cody. Anything can happen.
Yeah, I don't like being back here in 9th place. It looks like they're going to move up 1 spot. Judd Danielson came back down pit road to top off, it appears. I don't like being back here in the middle of the pack. We've seen a couple netcode incidents. It doesn't take much at all. I'd be white knuckle on this wheel right now and kind of sweating a little bit until we can get single filed out, maybe get a little green flag racing in.
I'll tell you what.
This is not where you want to be.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I don't want to see. I want to see clean, respectful racing against these guys running for a championship. I don't want to see these cars just pull out of the way and let them go.
No, I agree. That doesn't make for anything exciting at all and just kind of hands the 2 guys that are fighting for it, free, clean air to go. But we've seen so far, Chris Harefield was not afraid at all to shove it underneath Kyle and get that position, get the lead. We've seen Mike have to go, not get any quarter given. So I don't think they're going to just pull to the side and let these guys go.
Yeah, it looks like with this caution at lap 24 now, we're back on cycle, guys. We were looking to see if some of these strategies would pay off. Now, I mean, we're back on cycle. Everybody's going to try and run and do, 2 more pits?
Yeah, but I'm really interested to see, because we only had like 4 or 5 green flag laps on those tires for these guys up front that were on fresh tires. I'd like to see what the difference is. I mean, Chris Harefield, Nathan Dufton, Gary Bowman may have a good shot at winning this thing. You know what I mean? Having come through with fresh tires, now they're at the front of the pack. Again, we talked about clean air and everything. If they can stretch that fuel out to 2 more stops.
Yeah, I think they
not
have
too bad of
a great
not too bad of a shot.
Sorry.
Yeah.
They definitely have a nice buffer back there to Kyle and Mike as well, too. So it could help them right now to hold on to this, at least for the good part of this first run here.
And we still don't know who the fastest trucks are on the long run. Like, we only made it like 13 laps before that first caution came out. It's only half of a fuel run here. So there's still plenty of time for someone to show some long run speed that we haven't seen yet and come out of nowhere.
You mean Ken? There's Ken up 11 spots, 4th place. Dave Gainforth up 10 spots into 6th place.
Yeah, any of these guys up here. I mean, it's really anybody's race still.
Andrew, when's the last time you raced the trucks?
It's been a long time, Jerry.
How come?
I think it's probably the last time was probably at Mosport, I think.
Ah, of course, trucks at Mosport. How
Nothing
was it?
beats these in the at a road course. It was great. I think it was the majors race that we did there.
Oh, that's right. All right, getting ready to come to the green. Another slow start. Chris Harefield on the inside gets a okay jump. It looks like outside Nathan Dufton is falling back just a little bit. 2x2x2 all the way back. Kyle Nadeau in 8th place gets down single file. Let's watch Kyle and Mike to see as they come through the field whether they're very aggressive or whether they're content to just kind of stay in line.
Well, you talked about not giving spots up. The Carter Lawson there did not give any room at all to Mike Stiverson there on his outside. Did not give up the spot, fought him the entire way down the back straightaway, but Mike's able to power around both of those trucks and up into 8th place on that restart, now 1 position behind Kyle Nadeau. But your leader, Chris Harefield, currently has a 3-truck length lead over 2nd and 3rd side by side behind him.
We're riding along in the cockpit with Kyle now. If you're Kyle and you're battling for a championship, you got Mike Stiverson right behind you. This is not the view you really want to see.
No, and if I'm Mike,
too many trucks here right now.
If I'm Mike, I am yelling at Carter. It's one thing to not lay over. It's another thing when it's your teammate that's not getting out of the way for you.
Oh, Carter looked like he just about got into the back corner of Dave Gainforth with Mike Stiverson right behind.
Yeah, it looks like that checked up the entire field there behind him on the back straightaway. Mike now under pressure from the 7 of George Cushman. Not able to get any kind of momentum going. Hasn't able to finish off the corners at all. Kyle's now 4 spots ahead of him and driving away single file. Mike's falling back in the field.
Yeah, Mike's caught up in a little bit of traffic here with Carter Lawson. One of the trucks in front of him, his teammate, Mike looking to make a move down the outside, maybe take it 3 wide? No.
Man, no, he backed out of it there, but he's already made the pass on Carter around the outside once, and Carter fought back in turn 1 and 2 and got the position back. If I'm Mike, I am probably cussing up a storm in my chat right now. Maybe not hitting the button, but I'm sure his wife can hear it.
Meanwhile, up front, Chris Harefield, followed by Nathan Dufton, Gary Bowman, Jason Higginbotham, and Ken Lung in 5th place. Those guys are single file with Kyle right behind.
And now Kyle under pressure from the 7 of George Cushman, making his way up now, up quite a few spots from this restart.
Mike Stiverson just bogged down in traffic in 11th place.
Yeah, and falling back even further. Now they're 2 wide in front of him, nowhere for him to go. One of the worst feelings in the world, watching the guy you're racing drive away from you, and you're falling further and further behind.
Kyle looks like he let George go right on by. He's now in 7th place. I think he likes it there with that little bubble, if you will, of nobody around. Carter coming up behind him. Let's see how aggressive Carter is with Kyle.
You think Kyle learned something last week about when to race hard and when not to?
No.
Yeah, I think he's learned that he wants to stay away from the 2 wide action that's happened in front of him there. And it looks like Carter's trying to make a pass on him here on the outside.
Yeah, and he's going to have that pass done as they enter turn 3. Looks like that outside lane is starting to come in a little bit on both ends of the track. That middle groove, 1.5 lanes up, has been able to carry a lot more momentum, it seems like, off of the corner. I just don't know what it's going to do to their tires on the long run here.
Jason Higginbotham on the bottom of Nathan Dufton there on the outside. Jason looking to make a move with his teammate Chris Harefield up in the front.
Yeah, Chris has been caught by these guys up here. Had started to pull away a little bit, but even though they're side by side behind him, you have to wonder if maybe he's just managing the gap a little bit, trying to get what he can out of it, save a little tire while they're racing side by side, or if this is everything he has.
I think.
Yeah, and I think Jason's one of the guys on fresher tires up here as well, too. I mean, only like 6 laps fresher, but still a little bit fresher tires for him.
Yeah, I think he actually just pit for fuel that last time. I think it's actually George Cushman with the freshest tires up front.
But we've seen Higginbotham be fast on the long run all season long. And boy,
Cushman sliding up into, Gary smartly just backs out just a little bit. I think Cushman might have bit off a little more than he could chew there trying to make that pass.
That was a slide job gone wrong, and you could tell that Gary was unhappy with him, giving him a shove all the way down the front straightaway. That was a wreck waiting to happen and a bad slide job gone wrong. Luckily, Gary is a little bit nicer than some of the other trucks on the track. I don't know that I would have cracked the throttle there, Jerry.
I'm with you. Kyle Nadeau, 9th place now, right in front of Mike Stiverson. I think Kyle, Andrew, as you pointed out, has said, "Okay, these guys are racing hard. I don't want any part of it."
Yeah, and I think him knowing Mike's riding around in 10th right behind him, he knows he's got a good buffer right now. Unless Mike makes a charge to the front, he can kind of just stay where he is. So if
Oh,
he sees Mike get up there, he'll go for it too.
yeah, he's right up there besides Ray Richer, looking to make a move, getting past Ken as well. Every time we talk about him kind of laying back, it looks like he says, "No, I don't want to go back any farther."
Yeah, he's just watching the broadcast, I think, just trying to prove us wrong or something out there tonight again.
Might be now Carter Lawson in front of Kyle. Carter was not generous, if you will, about getting out of Mike's way. Let's see how he feels about staying in front of Kyle.
Yeah, I kind of like where Mike's at right now, though. Let Kyle use up his tires and get around these guys. I mean, we've still got 2 more pit stops to go, and anything can happen. Make a couple good pit stops. Maybe Kyle speeds on pit road, anything. Just keep the truck underneath you. We're not even to the halfway mark yet.
So if you're Mike Stiverson right now, you're right behind Kyle. You're in 9th place. Beating him by 1 or 2 spots does nothing. What you're hoping for, obviously, is Kyle, as you said, has a bad pit or maybe gets involved in a wreck. If you're Mike here, do you back off a little more so that if there is a wreck and Kyle's involved, you're not involved in the same wreck?
I mean, it's kind of a catch-22, isn't it? You guys get in here, and if you let him go and he doesn't get in a wreck, well, you didn't do anything about it. If you fight up there and you wreck, then you screwed yourself over also. I think sitting here with him in sight is your best chance. Don't take any risks. We still have plenty of racing to go. Let Kyle be as aggressive as he wants to be up there, and just follow him through. Just keep sight of him. Don't lose sight of him. Hit your marks till it's time to get to that next pit stop. That's all you can do right now. Like,
Gotcha.
you need something to happen. But you can't take yourself out of it either. That's not what you want to happen.
Yeah, up front, Chris Harefield, followed by Nathan Dufton, Jason Higginbotham, Carter Lawson, Kyle Nadeau, now up to 5th. George Cushman, Mike Stiverson, Gary Bowman, Ken Lung, and Ray Richer make out your top 10.
Gary's still, I think, unhappy with the 7 there. You gave him another shove down the back straightaway that really wasn't necessary. They didn't have any forward momentum going, but still gave him a little bump draft down the back straightaway, trying to get to his outside corner right now. Isn't quite able to get there.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to give the 7 a
Oh,
lot
3
of room
wide
trying
back
to
there
pass
with the
him.
7. 3 wide, 7's in the middle. They're around him now, running
Oh!
down to the bottom, still 3 wide.
Ken got the 7 got down into Ken's quarter panel. Ken wisely went down onto the apron, did not cause a wreck, but lost a few spots there for Ken.
I think you're now seeing these the fresher tire guys that pit about 6 laps later coming to the front. Kyle up to 2nd, all over Chris Harefield, starting to put the pressure on there. Has that same speed differential that we talked about in the center of the corner.
Kyle
Not able to
sliding
complete the pass.
Oh, he was sliding up into Chris.
Oh, man, and Mike is watching Carter think about going 3 wide in front of him. This is, again, Kyle got through this traffic a lot better than Mike is right now. Kyle, back out to your lead. Mike Stiverson stuck down in 6th place with trucks just wall to wall in front of him, nowhere to go. He can't make any kind of forward progress.
Carter has just not done Mike any favors this time. Not that he needs to, not that he's supposed to, but I'm pretty sure they're teammates.
I'm pretty sure they are too, along with teammates with Kyle, and it seems like Kyle got a couple more breaks there from Carter than Mike has gotten. Maybe Mike left him off the Christmas card list or something this year.
Oh, that could be. All right, Kyle Nadeau up in front where we are used to seeing him. Mike Stiverson down low, making a move, trying to catch up to Kyle. That's going to put him into 4th place if he can make this stick. 47 on the outside's going to have momentum coming into the corner. Kyle to the bottom.
Mike trying to get that call of just clear. You want to hear clear, and he hasn't got it. It looks like 47 got in the wall a little bit. Now he's clear. 4th place, but Kyle has driven away, now has a 7/10 of a second lead over Chris Harefield in 2nd, and almost a 1.5 over Mike.
Was that just a case of Kyle saving some tires?
I think this is the case of Mike being stuck in traffic. 18's coming to pit road this time. So there goes our talk about that strategy for being able to make it longer. see, 45, 55, 20. It's going to be pretty darn close. He only has to save another lap or so worth of fuel, and he can probably make it to the end.
He's the only one that came into pit this lap.
Yeah, it looks like a couple of the other guys did a little bit better job of saving fuel. I think 47 would probably be the earliest you'd be able to pit and make it without having to save any more. 47 coming to 48, so another lap and a half or so. Mike is now up into third place, all over the back bumper of Jason Higginbotham, but, I mean...
I think Mike's going to have
Kyle keeps just driving away. He's now 1.2 seconds ahead.
Yeah, Mike's going to have to do an undercut or something here to get some track position.
The problem is as soon as he gets on the radio, everybody knows that he's coming and Kyle can cover.
Kyle's up to a 1.1 second lead, followed by Jason Higginbotham, Mike Stiverson, Carter Lawson, Gary Bowman, and Nathan Dufton, who is, coming into the pits. He locks it up sideways, does not make contact with anything, and keeps rolling.
And those are the pit entries you don't want to have. At least he didn't hit any of the walls, so he can get down to his pit crew, but he definitely lost a lot of time there.
Does he have a black flag?
I will check. I don't know for sure.
He didn't speed.
Doesn't look like it. Only flag I'm showing would be a meatball for Steven Music is the only thing I'm showing right now.
Mike Stiverson looked like he was going to make a pass for Higginbotham, trying to make that happen, just can't get to that rear quarter.
Yeah, Jason's not making it easy for him at all. And this is the point where if you're Mike, you've got to just be calm. Like, there's still plenty of time left. You have 2 more pit stops to make. Just stay cool. Like, you don't have to do anything drastic or anything else. Just stay cool. Don't let this frustrate you. There's plenty of time to catch everything back up.
Gary Bowman.
Mike, I would have tried to sneak into pit road there that lap.
Yeah, Gary Bowman, Ken Lung pit, Kevin Fetty going in the pits now.
Yeah, this is lap 50. This is where we had talked about. This is where your normal pit stop would have been, is right now. But if you're Kyle, I mean, you're just covering Mike. There's no reason not to. And I mean, honestly, as much as the gap is, you can basically do whatever you want as long as you don't finish 10 spots behind him.
Yeah, Kyle's up to a 1.5 second lead over Higginbotham. Mike has fallen back from Higginbotham. It's now a 2 seconds up to Kyle. Carter Lawson right there behind Mike.
Yeah, if you're Mike, you need to get to pit road and get there as quickly as you can, preferably before Kyle. Try to get a little bit of clean air and just settle into a rhythm. Like, race is halfway done, settle into a rhythm, get it done.
Mike Stiverson coming in the pits. Wow, that looks fast.
Ooh, and Mike Donahue behind him hitting the wall on entry, I think that was.
Nothing yet. Looks like Mike's going to be clear on pit road there.
That was a great pit entrance by Mike Stiverson. Let's see if the undercut pays off.
97 coming to pit road this time also.
Looks like all these top 3 are coming in here this time.
97 was definitely
that
looked a little quick at the cone too. Nothing on the radar yet. Looks like he's down to pit speed, still looking clear, but it definitely was not as aggressive of an entry as Mike's was.
Ray Richer is the new leader, followed by Judd Danielson. They are the only 2 who have not pit.
All right, let's take a look at this. So we'll keep an eye on Kyle's pit time. Mike Stiverson had a 41.98 pit lane time, 14.88 pit stop. We'll keep an eye on Kyle's and see what he's at.
Last 2 trucks pitting.
Yeah, so Kyle with a 42.35 pit stop. So about a half a second slower on pit lane time. But he had enough of a lead here. It's going to be close on exit, but I think Kyle's going to have the momentum in 3 and 4. But, man, they're closing up quick. No, give it to Mike. Mike's got him. That pit entry that we talked about, that 1 lap sooner, was just enough to get him out front. Mike Stiverson now leading Kyle Nadeau, but currently running 6th and 7th on the track with the early pitters in front of him.
Yeah, they've had two that were in the pits. So Chris Harefield is your current leader, followed by Gary Bowman, Ken Lung in third, Mike Stiverson, Kyle Nadeau, Ray Richer in sixth. Sorry, no. I'm sorry. Jason Higginbotham in sixth. Ray Richer was still in the pits or coming out. Nathan Dufton, Carter Lawson, Dave Gainforth, Kevin Fetty. That's your running order, top 10.
Yeah, I'll
Chris-
finish out your lead lap cars right now. Chris Letts, Mike Donahue, Ray Richer, Jed Danielson in 14th, George Cushman 15th, Brian Dorsey in 16th, and that appears to be your last car running. All the trucks on track are currently on the lead lap.
As you can see, Chris Harefield, there's nobody near him. He has a almost 3-second lead over second place. Now, Chris did pit a couple laps early. He had those fresh tires to run some fast laps earlier than everybody. I would expect that gap to get smaller as his tires get older. But right now he's got clean air, and Cody, as you always tell me, clean air is huge.
Absolutely, and it is growing a lot smaller as leader's last lap was a 30.7. Mike and Ken both ran 30.1s that last lap right there. Not sure what happened, but Kyle ran a 30.4. So I'm not sure if he's just trying to save a little bit of tire, if he's just taking it easy, what's going on, but
It
falling
doesn't
back a
seem
little
like,
bit from...
Doesn't seem like Jason behind him saving any tire at all. He ran a 29.8 the last lap.
Yeah, that is 29.7 that lap. He is the fastest truck. That's the fastest lap of the race so far.
How about Ken Lung? Third place. He did pit a little early, so some of that's a little tire strategy, but nonetheless, running in third place, a little over halfway through this race.
Yeah, I think that strategy might help him a little bit, pitting a couple laps earlier. I mean, he's still in good fuel window here, and maybe pit a couple laps later than he did last time to kind of even it up, but probably help him a fair amount with some track position here.
Yeah, it seems too. I mean, he started, and he's up 12 spots from where he started and everything, running in third, like we said right now. It's probably going to lose spots all the way back to maybe Carter or Kevin, 7th or 8th, but that's still going to be quite a big improvement from where he qualified.
Mike Stiverson catching Ken pretty quickly right now. Let's see. Looks like Ken's just basically pulled over and letting him go.
Yeah, I said there, we talked about earlier not just giving the spot, but there comes a point in time whenever a guy has 4 lap fresher tires than you do, if he gets position,
Oh, yeah.
there's no need to be a dick,
Yeah.
There's no point in fighting him at that point. They've got fresher tires. You might as well just let him go.
Yeah, but Kyle, who's now behind Ken, was hoping for a little bit of a delay there by Ken.
Oh, absolutely. And as we were talking about Mike and Kyle, identical lap times last lap. We'll see what they come across the stripe with this time. 30.28 for Mike, a 30.18 for Kyle. It looks like Kyle may have just taken a little time bringing those tires into the window a little bit more. But the best thing for Mike right now is getting these cars on the older tires in between him and Kyle. Every car that you can get around is another car that Kyle has to get around, and you see the leader up there on older tires and you're chasing him down. You had clean air out of the pits, but clean air is the best kind of clean air.
Yeah, and Mike down on the bottom gets by Gary Bowman. Kyle Nadeau gets by Ken as well. Ken just pulled over for him.
Jason's right there with him, though. I don't think Kyle lost a little bit of time to Jason as well. We've seen how good he was in the long run.
Ken, I don't know if Ken's his tires are pushing him up the track or if he's just letting everybody go.
Yeah, we see Mike right now chasing down. He's running about 0.7 of a second faster than the leader is, but is on 6 or 7 lap fresher tires also.
Kyle Nadeau with 4 lap fresher tires looking to go underneath Gary. Gary stays high. I have mixed feelings. I know it's 4 lap fresher tires, but come on, guys. Race these guys. Make them work for it.
Mike Stiverson now makes the pass on Chris Harefield into turn 1. New leader, Mike Stiverson. Only problem for him is Kyle Nadeau is only 2 spots behind. We need him to fall back. If you're in Mike's camp, you need Kyle to fall back some spots, something to happen, speed on pit road, anything. If you're in Kyle's camp, that's the last thing you can do, is you don't need to push pit road. You can finish some spots behind him. Just No mistakes. That's got to be Kyle's motto the rest of this race is no mistakes.
Yeah, it's okay to take a pit a little slow, lose a half a second, then get stuck with a 40-second penalty.
It's impossible to dig out from one of those
Yeah.
unless we get a bunch of cautions.
Chris Harefield down to fourth. Those old tires, he is really struggling. Gary Bowman going to get underneath him and make the pass.
Yeah, he's almost a second slower than some of the cars that he's racing right now with those older tires he's got.
But I mean, you got to give him credit. He did something different. You follow the leaders, you're going to follow the leaders. He made the choice to follow Kyle down pit road, took the fresh tires there on that early caution, hoping it would stay green. It didn't. But I mean, you can't fault a guy for trying.
Meanwhile, it looks like we had a little adventure here. Let's see. Mike Donahue just cuts that a little more. Showed up as an off track. Just cutting the tri-oval a little.
Little extra speed there. You're driving less of the track.
All right, we've kind of settled in before our next rounds of pits. Mike Stiverson in first, Kyle Nadeau, Jason Higginbotham, Gary Bowman in fourth, Chris Harefield fifth, Carter Lawson sixth, Ken Lung, we talked about him, down to seventh right now, Kevin Fetty, Chris Letts, and Judd Danielson in 10th.
Ray Richer 11th, Nathan Dufton in 12th, Dave Gainforth in 13th, Mike Donahue in 14th, George Cushman in 15th, Brian Dorsey in 16th, and your last car running. Things are heating up for the lead, though, up front here. Kyle has got that gap down to half a truck length and now a quarter inside of Mike Stiverson as they come into turn 3. Wonder if maybe Mike just pushed a little bit too hard. Tight racing, though. Mike's not going to give him any quarter, not going to lift up. But those older tires, little heated tires, little momentum off of the corner, holding him down the front straightaway, but give that lap to Kyle Nadeau as they cross the stripe to finish lap 67.
Do you feel any different racing your championship battle contender than you would, say, racing just somebody who didn't have anything with it? I mean, are you going to race a little bit harder?
It depends on the situation. If it's beat the guy and that's all you have to do, absolutely. If it's beat the guy and you aren't that guy, go. I ain't even racing you. I'm not gonna. I'll lift early. You can have the spot. 10 people can pass me as long as none of them are that guy. This is a little bit different, but I mean, Mike's hanging on strong on the outside right there. I think it's a little more, yeah, you may have won the championship, but I beat you in the race kind of thing is what Mike may be going for right now, you know?
Absolutely. He is.
Yeah, I'm sure he just wants this win at this point. Even if he doesn't get the title, he wants the win.
Yeah, he is staying right there to the outside of Kyle. They've been side by side for 2 or 3 laps now, continuing to battle for that lead position.
Yeah, this is what we expected. These guys have been up front all season long. Don't look now, though. Right behind them is Jason Higginbotham. These three have got about a 2-second breakaway from the rest of the pack. And Jason Higginbotham, another couple laps of side-by-side, and it may be a 3-wide battle for the lead.
Yeah, we've talked to Higginbotham at the end of a lot of races this year in these trucks. He is really good.
Oh, Mike in the wall out of turn 4. We mentioned that wall gets tight to you. Jason Higginbotham's going to be able to go around Mike on the inside there. Mike now down to 3rd spot is going to have to just kind of regroup, make this last pit stop count.
Hopefully
if you're Mike, you almost, yeah, but throw caution to the wind. Like if you've held back 5% on a pit entry, this is the time where you've got to get it. You know, you need to win the race and beat him by, if you win the race, you have to beat him by less spots. Hope he has a problem. Get on pit road early and go for broke. I mean, it's no different. Finishing 20th or 3rd right now doesn't matter to Mike unless something happens to Kyle. But Kyle's been no mistakes this whole race. Go for broke. Do what you have to do.
We are on lap 72. Looks like they probably will be pitting in the next 3 to 4 laps. Higginbotham, Kyle Nadeau, Mike Stiverson, all on basically the same pit strategy.
Yep, final stop of the season going to be coming up here. I guess we'll find out now if Kyle had tires or not, huh?
We will. I am guessing he did not take tires that first pit. Maybe wrong.
Yeah, I would be shocked if he did and take tires 6 laps later.
Yeah. Championship week here at Cyber Thunder. Tonight it's the trucks. Tomorrow night, Rising Stars Championship battle. Thursday night, it's the Cup battle. We're going to have a new Cup champion. Cody, how do you feel about Thursday night?
Well, I hope it's not a new Cup champion. I hope it's a defending Cup champion, holds his title one more season. That's going to be the best. I know Carr is really, really loose at Old Atlanta under that hot sun. If it's either going to be a spread out clean race or there's going to be a bunch of self-spin cautions. It's going to be one or the other. I don't think we're going to get anything in between. I'm hoping it's the former, hoping I can lean on some long run speed there, but the other three guys that I'm fighting against, I guess 2 guys and 1 girl I'm fighting against, are pretty strong at all these racetracks. I think it's going to be a tough fight. You'll probably see all 4 of us running 1st through 4th most of the race.
Looking forward to it. Chris Harefield coming in the pits, having you remember he's on a little bit early pit strategy. He's the first one in the pits, everybody else staying out. Kyle Nadeau, your leader.
This needs to be your.
This is when
this needs
Mike
to be your hit. 144 is coming in. Mike does not follow him. That's probably going to cycle Higginbotham to the lead whenever everything is all said and done, and we've seen how strong he is out front. But I agree, Jerry. Mike should have been in the pits last lap, not this one, last lap. Kyle's pitting this time. You know that Mike's going to follow him in.
Well, now he's got a target on that pit entry, and he can send it a little bit deeper, knowing that Kyle's right ahead of him.
Kyle coming on pit entry looks pretty good, but Mike coming in fast.
He didn't have that initial speed, but he had that second stage speed coming down, getting it slowed down, and he caught up 8 or 9 car lengths there on pit entry.
Let's make sure these
See
guys
if he can get in and out of his box. Yeah.
Don't pull a Cody. Mike gets in good. Kyle slides in good. Last pit of the year in the trucks. Let's see how they do on exit. Judd Danielson is your current leader, followed by Chris Letts and Brian Dorsey. Kyle's in this front spot. You can see him going. You'll see Mike Stiverson here catching in the screen in just a second. There he is.
Yeah, looking at their pit times and everything. Again, Mike Stiverson about a half a second faster on pit lane. Pit stop times were almost identical. All that time that you gain is just getting on and off pit road there.
And you saw
as Mike and Kyle were coming off pit road, you saw Jason Higginbotham just fly right by them too.
Yep. Yeah, he's got a 2-second lead on these guys. And actually, Gary Bowman is between Mike and Kyle.
Yeah, and Gary has some momentum here. Kyle's not quite got that truck all the way wound up. Gary's going to be able to get to his right rear quarter panel here and be able to pinch him down, see if he can maintain momentum on the outside as well. This is a battle for currently the 4th position until they come across the line. Looks like your last 2 trucks are on pit road right now.
That's what I want to see. Good job, Gary, making that pass. I want to see you racing these guys. I don't care if they're battling for a championship. You are battling for a podium.
Battling for a podium. You might be able to battle for a win there, although Jason Higginbotham is 2.6 seconds up the road. You're on the same tires. It's going to be a tall ask of that.
We have cycled through our last pits here at Cyber Thunder Tuesday Night Thunder. Since there's no tires left, I don't think anybody's going to pit, even if there's a caution. We've got top 10, Jason Higginbotham, Gary Bowman, Kyle Nadeau, Mike Stiverson, Carter Lawson, Chris Harefield, Ken Lung, Judd Danielson. Let me correct that. Ken Lung, Ray Richer, Kevin Fetty, Nathan Dufton. That's your top 10.
Yep, and then the other 5 drivers currently on track, Judd Danielson, Chris Letts, Dave Gainford, George Cushman, Mike Donahue on the lead lap. Brian Dorsey currently being scored 1 lap down.
Jason Higginbotham up to a 2.75 second lead.
Yeah, and running faster lap times than the couple trucks behind him. Yeah, still a half a tenth faster that time. I mean, we've seen he's been good. He's been up there at the front all night long. I don't know that Kyle or Gary are going to be able to catch him. Mike's just hoping for a bunch of cautions that Kyle's involved in right now. Your pit stops are done. Everything else is done. You're hoping, you're praying for an equipment failure, power outage, internet blip, anything right now to get you that championship.
All right, this is for the championship. Your Mike, you see Kyle right in front. Do you give him a little bumper?
Again, if it's beat the guy that you're racing, sure.
So here at
You
Cyber,
know you need 10 points. You know you
Yeah.
need 10 points. I don't think so.
yeah, and at Cyber, if you give him a little bump and he wrecks, you could end up getting penalized.
That's absolutely true also.
Very true.
Yeah, and I mean, Mike's not that kind of guy either. It doesn't matter what it's going for. I don't see Mike wrecking anybody or even giving him a little bit of the chrome bumper for, a little bit of move or anything. Not on an intermediate, maybe a short track. But short track racing is a whole different animal.
18 laps to go for Tuesday Night Thunder. We're going to take a break after this this race. In terms of Cyber is going to be on break for, I think, roughly a month. Got some special events going on. Don't know. I don't believe they'll be televised, but it's going to be break time at Cyber, so no racing for a month or so.
Yeah, I think we picked back up end of February, middle of February, somewhere around in there. Give these drivers a little bit of a time off, a little bit of a break. Let them regroup up for the next season going on.
Got any vacation plans, Cody? Taking
Vacation
the month off?
plans?
Yeah.
I don't have vacation until Indy 500 week, Jerry. What are you talking about?
Vacation. After this, he's got to start working on getting ready for the NIS season.
That's correct.
Do you ever stop getting ready for NIS?
Yeah, about a month after NIS ends, I don't touch the rig forever.
Yeah, there was
and
that
then-
whole month of November and early December where none of us touched the rig.
That's true. Kyle Nadeau looking to make a pass. He's down below Gary. Gary's sticking tight to that rear quarter. Kyle's going to make the pass. It's just going to take a couple laps here, I think. Gary Bowman
Yeah, it
stick
looks
to
like
the outside.
Kyle has one lap fresher tires that will show up a little bit different. Again, sorry we've been following these guys the entire time. They are the championship battle. There's not really a whole lot of other action on the track. There's a little 3-car group back here for 8th, 9th, and 10th. Ray Richard, Nathan Dufton, Judd Danielson. Little bit of trading back and forth, but they're not even side by side right now. Everybody else pretty much single filed out. Just running the race, trying to finish off this season.
Higginbotham still up over 2.3 second lead. He's got 14 to go, just waiting for this to end. Mike Stiverson, Gary, I can't tell if Gary's just tires are keeping him up on track or if Gary's just saying, I'll stay up here, Mike, you go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's a little combination of both. We've seen Gary ever since this dynamic track update came in. Gary's one of the first ones to start searching around somewhere else for grip, and it looks like he may have found a little bit of something in 3 and 4. So I think that's more just Gary looking for something than it is go ahead and go, Mike.
Yeah,
you know what I
'cause
mean?
I think you're right. He does look like he found something. Mike was down there at his rear quarter. Gary went to the top and is extended that lead by a truck length.
Yeah, but then he aero blocks and runs the bottom this time. Not sure if that's on purpose. Maybe he was on Kyle's Christmas card list. I don't know. But, I mean, hey, run your line. You've got plenty of room in front of you. He's not got position on you. Do whatever you want. I think just maybe trying to back-to-back laps, see what was faster, what wasn't. Moving around a little bit. Mike gets a good run. Gets a good run that time. Gets to his left rear quarter panel. I think Gary's going to let him go this time. Yep, Gary just lifts a little bit, lets him go.
Lets him go, but is not going to let Carter go. Pulls back down in front of Carter. Kyle
And
Nadeau,
Gary just mentioned he wanted a front row seat here for anything that might happen. So
Yeah, we are 11 to go now. Gary getting pressure from Carter. Carter getting to the outside of Gary. Let's see if he can run the outside and make the pass. Not able to get to that rear quarter. It's getting some momentum there as Gary's down on the bottom. See if he can make that outside work.
yeah, got a lot of momentum on the entry to 3 and 4 there and held it through the center of the corner. We'll see what happens down here in 1 and 2, side by side here for 4th place. Carter up the racetrack a little bit, gets a lot of momentum and has the run down the back straightaway, able to clear him off of 2.
Carter Lawson, 4th place. Biggest mover of the day, though, Judd Danielson up 10 spots into 8th place. Ken Lung up 8 spots into 7th place.
And you talk big winners, big losers. Mike Donahue saw a couple instances there earlier with Mike Stiverson. And then some more issues on the back straightaway and everything. Down 13 spots in 15th. Brian Dorsey, Stephen Music down 7 spots in 16th and 18th, respectively.
We are under 10 to go. We got 9 laps left. Guys, thanks for joining me this season in the broadcast booth. I could not have done it without you. I would have. It would have been terrible.
Well, it was probably just a step above terrible with us in here anyway, Jerry. I don't think we're the best broadcasters in the world, but it was definitely fun doing this. It's not something I ever thought I'd see myself doing. It's absolutely fun doing it, but this will probably be my last season as a broadcaster.
I hear you, man. I'm with you. Andrew, thank you,
Hopefully-
man.
Yeah, it's been a good season. Yeah, it's definitely not something I could keep on full time, but hopefully we kept our dozens of fans out there very entertained.
All this does is give me a brand new respect for the likes of Chris Wold and how good of a job he did by himself all those seasons. All the other broadcasters out there on YouTube, you guys are amazing. I couldn't do it every day. More power to you.
Absolutely. I was just going to say, I have new respect for these broadcasters. This is an art, and there's some ones out there that are really, really good. Chris is one of them. Coming on 6 to go. Kyle just passed the start finish. Jason Higginbotham's lead down to a 2.5 seconds. We've got 6 laps to go. I don't know. I don't know if Kyle's got enough time to catch him. If he does, I don't know if he's got enough time to pass him.
Yeah,
Last
looking at the
couple
timing,
laps.
he's
Yeah,
going about a
it-
10th faster each lap, so that's going to be tough to get him here with as many laps left as we have.
Yeah, 10th faster a lap, 1.3 seconds. You need 13 laps, and we ain't got that. We got 5 when they cross the line.
Mike Stiverson's fallen to about a second behind him. Then you'll see Carter Lawson, Gary Bowman still right there close to each other in that 4th and 5th spot.
Yeah, this is a battle heating up right here for 4th and 5th. I think Gary may have gotten his tires back underneath him, cooled down a little bit. He's been all over the rear bumper of Carter for the last couple of laps. Gonna have 4 more laps of this Tuesday Night Thunder season
Kyle's
coming to a close.
got to be getting pretty juiced up right now, looking at a truck championship. And I know he's won championships before. Is this his first truck? I believe
No, I crew chiefed him to a truck
Last-
championship last year.
last year.
Last
Okay,
season,
gotcha.
so
That's
this will be his 2nd truck championship.
Does that mean-
Assuming there's no cautions in the next 3 laps.
Does that mean he gets a 2 trophies by his name?
Hey, I don't have 2 trophies next to mine, so
Okay. 1 trophy it is. No new
It's a
trophies.
1 trophy limit, yeah.
1 trophy limit. Once again, find myself in the room full of trophy holders. None for me.
it's okay, Jerry. Mike got his by wrecking you. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cody doesn't want to be tied with me for number of Cyber Cup championships.
Hey, you know how to fix that, Andrew.
That's true.
2 laps to go. I know the leader's up there, but Gary Bowman is all over the back bumper of Carter Lawson. I mean, give it a couple inches worth of space between them there. Carter's got a little bit better turn 1 and 2. Was able to aero block a little bit there for Gary. But this is your closest battle on the track right now, is for 4th place between Carter and Gary. But the white flag is going to be in the air for Jason Higginbotham. That gap is now down to 1 second, but I don't think that Kyle's going to get there unless he makes a mistake. Who did get there, though, is Gary Bowman. It was door to door with Carter Lawson now as they enter turn 1. He's going to try to run that outside line.
We're going to go to the leader as he crosses that finish line. Jason Higginbotham with another truck win coming around turn 4 and bringing it to the start.
Gary is going to be, it's going to be a drag race to the finish line for this 4th place spot, though. Who's going to get a little door bump? Coming across.
I show Gary.
I show Gary.
Yep,
Just
Gary
pulling it
got it.
off.
Gary Bowman by 0.06 of a second at the line. But the big thing, Jason Higginbotham, your winner, Kyle Nadeau, your champion. How about I go grab our winner and we'll talk to him before we interview that champion? How about that?
Let's do that. First, I'm going to go ahead and pull up your finishing order. We'll go over that while you bring the folks in. First place, Jason Higginbotham. Excuse me. Higginbotham, followed by Kyle Nadeau, Mike Stiverson, Gary Bowman, Carter Lawson in fifth, Ken Lung, Chris Harefield, Judd Danielson in eighth, ninth is Ray Richer, and Kevin Fetty in 10th.
In 11th place, we have Chris Letts, Nathan Dufton in 12th, Dave Gainforth in 13th, George Cushman 14th, 15th, Mike Donahue, Brian Dorsey 16th. He was the first car one lap down, and then a few cars finishing the race in the garage. Stephen Music in 17th, Alan Ayers in 18th, and Paul Turner in 19th.
Jason.
Yes, sir.
Cody, Andrew, and Jerry up in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, I got you, fellas. How y'all doing?
Well, hey, we said we were going to interview the championship winner and the winner of the race if it wasn't one of those guys. And here you are again. We're talking to you. You put it in victory lane. You did. You beat Kyle. You beat Mike. Talk us through that race and how it went for you.
I tell you, I hadn't been on here for a while. I hadn't been on here since that last mile race. I was a little perturbed with a fella in the league, of course, but I hadn't been on here. So then I get on here tonight, and they go in iRacing UI, which I've never been in. I always go in iRacing member site. So I had to reset up all my monitors. It was a mess. It was a mess. Highly perturbed, and then get no practice and come out here and win the race. I'll take it. I'll take it all day long.
Well, hey, maybe that's your secret. Maybe you need to do that. Just delete your files every race and make you reset it.
Yeah, you got to be angry at iRacing before every race, and it helps
get
you
you a little angry.
Gives you that extra speed.
I hate that because I charge a whole lot harder than I ever do. Right front's wearing out like crazy. Here I am getting tight, but I'll take it. Yeah, I need to get up and set up, spend it all day tomorrow, do some adjustments on the screens. But I got triples and I couldn't set up my triples because I hadn't configured or nothing in the UI. So, but it's all good. It's all good.
Well, hey, you still walk away with a trophy tonight, the winning trophy. So I mean, it can't be all that bad at all.
Oh, you're right. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Well, that was
a great race. Kyle and Mike had a great race there for a little bit. That was awesome.
Yeah, you had a front row seat for a lot of it, but managed to get around them and grab that win tonight. I'm going to turn the floor over to you, though. Let you give your shout outs, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, it looks like me and Chris lost all our teammates, and I've seen a few of them in here tonight, and they still don't want to get in Discord with us. So I don't know if they're mad at us or what, but it looks like we lost Paul, and looks like we lost Crank. But I got to thank Chris. Chris been a hell of a good teammate all year. It's been fun to race with you guys. It's been fun to race with Cyber Thunder here. I got to thank Higgy's House of Power and the Chevrolet right here.
Well, hey, that Higgy's House of Power Chevrolet got you quite a few victories this season. We look forward to talking to you more next season. Maybe make a championship run yourself, Jason. Congratulations tonight on the win.
I appreciate
We'll see you next season. Good luck.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Cody. I appreciate you guys, man. Enjoyed it.
And I believe Andrew caught up with our season champion, Kyle.
Yeah, and it looks like our champion here is about to celebrate a little bit more at the start-finish line. Kyle, you got a copy?
I do, boys. How we doing?
So how does it feel to be a two-time Cybertruck champion?
Oh, I was excited for one. I didn't expect two. Like, wow. I got no words. The two-time in a row champion is just an amazing. Like, to have it come down between teammates, between Mike and I, is just it's storybook. You couldn't ask for a better finale, and we raced around each other the entire night. Any three of us, even with Higginbotham, I know he missed the playoffs, but he would have been right there, right at the end.
Yeah,
and
it was an amazing battle between you and Mike this entire playoffs, and it's always fun when you can have that battle with a teammate as well too. It's always a great fun.
And for
I know
it to
Cody
be
and I have had
clean,
those fun as well in the past.
Yeah, and for it to be super clean is just the best. You can't ask for anything better. Like, Mike has been a fantastic friend, teammate, league owner, league admin. Just yeah, I couldn't have asked for a better battle.
Well, congrats again, Kyle, and floor is yours to give any more thanks other than Mike and Carter, obviously, for being awesome teammates, and I guess your engine builder for building an engine that blows up for you as you're trying to celebrate.
Yeah, I was
Floor's
gonna say,
all
engine
yours.
builder's gonna be mad at him now.
Hey, you know what? This is 2 championships. I think the engine builder will be okay. First and foremost, I want to thank you to my grandma for watching and my girlfriend for watching, and Manicures by Shani for coming on late in the season and stepping up towards a playoff run. My parents for watching, you guys, of course, for broadcasting the entire season. Hopefully, it was an excellent season to put on. Everybody out there in the cyber world for watching. Mike, Carter, and everyone at WTF, where WTF is 2-time team champions as well. So it was a fantastic season for us. And yeah, everybody in cyber for racing, for having an excellent season. I think I
Well,
got everybody.
Well, hopefully you did. If not, I'm sure you'll be able to talk about them again next season if you're still back here in the trucks. And anyways, get out there, celebrate with your team, and yeah, congrats again on the championship, Kyle.
Thanks, boys.
Congratulations, Kyle.
Thanks, Cody.
Man, that was an exciting season. I don't know about you guys, but I could hear the excitement in Kyle's voice there, and I'm smiling so big for him just for that excitement. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was a very good race, and like you said, storybook coming down to teammate battle, teammate versus teammate at the very end there. They were nose to tail, I think, every single race all season long. Ended this race basically nose to tail, finishing second and third. And it was a great season, great battle. Either of those two were well deserving of a championship, but Kyle brings home that second one.
A lot of fun tonight. A lot of fun all season. Once again, thank you guys for joining me on the broadcast. Thank you, all you viewers, for watching. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow night. We've got the Rising Stars Championship battle. Thursday night, come out to the Cup battle. Mike's not going to be able to make the broadcast. He's got some personal stuff going on, but Andrew has stepped up to help me do the broadcast Thursday night since I got kicked out of the chase. So we will have a broadcast Thursday night. Come watch Coleridge, Cody, Lilith, and who? Dan. I am so sorry, Dan.
Forgetting our other
I forgot it, my teammate, Dan. Oh, Dan Keene. Battle it out for the Cup championship. Oh, somebody's
thanks for taking
that.
Thanks for taking my championship crew chief Andrew away from me, Jerry.
Well, you know, he can do both, maybe. We'll see. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Hope you tune in tomorrow night. And we will see you then. See ya.
Great season, guys. Have a good night.
Good night.